responsible for destroying the free market system. By the way, this socialist, Donald Williams, hangs with Chris Murphy. He hangs with Joe Courtney and John Larson. It is time that he be given the broom and swept out of office. Remember his name, Donald Williams. Connecticut can no longer afford this wealth destroyer. His friend, a colleague, Christopher Donovan, another left-wing extremist, left-wing leaning politician, Speaker of the House of Representatives. He has also served for 17 years. He has received accolades, awards, recognition from every left-leaning organization. He is a proponent of health care for all, no matter what the cost to the taxpayer. His only care is the tax eater. Did you know that he hired a secretary for $165,000 a year? That is more than our Governor Jody Rell makes. But he thought $165,000 a year was a fair salary for a secretary.
A number of years ago, I had the opportunity to go see the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus at the then Hartford Civic Center, and when it come, and I enjoyed it very much. But in the last few years, I have begun to see what I consider to be two three-ring circuses. One in Washington, D.C., and one over here. And believe me, it is not fun nor enjoyable to have to watch. And let me tell you that I with you is becoming increasingly fed up with not only with the bureaucratic red tape, but also the corrupt leadership that proclaims itself to be representing us as we the people. And believe me, they're not. They're only is representing their own self-interest. I'm not even as an independent. I am first and foremost as an American and a resident of this state, a citizen of this state. And let me tell you, in the last couple of months, I have been happy to see the growth and development, not only in this state, but across the country of all these tea parties. It is growing and spreading like wildfire by leaps and bounds. We will be able to take back not only this state, but this country. Please do not give up. Please keep on going. Keep up the good work, and God bless you. I am with you. I support you 100%, 200%, 300% all the way. Thank you.
Real extremists, and they're a threat to our way of life. They don't seem to like constitutional government. They don't like the idea that we have a right to speak out and criticize our politicians. I'm a lifelong resident of Connecticut, at least so far, and I can remember back when we had a 3.5% sales tax. We had no state income tax, there was no lottery, there was no Indian casinos for the state to shake down, and we paid our bills. Today we've got the state income tax, we've got a 6% income tax. We got the lottery that was supposed to go to education, goes into the general fund. We got the Indians being shaken down because wherever the politicians can smell money, they want some of it. And what do we get to see? What do we get for all this money? What's improved? Nothing. A lot of honest people run, but they can't get elected because they won't make the deals. And so we end up with what we have in there today. People who have sold their souls. People that work for special interests. They're not working for you and me.
Dodd and his Irish cottage that he bought with a felon whose conviction he got pardoned by Bill Clinton, etc., etc. It's Dodd and over $500,000 a year in directorship payments to his wife for companies that he had oversight over. It's Dodd leaving in the middle of his term, moving out of the state of Connecticut to go to Iowa to run for president, taking his little girl and putting her in kindergarten out there, getting a house. He moved out of our state. The Constitution says you have to live in a state when you are elected. But it's silent on the issue of whether you can move out afterwards, because I can't imagine the founders ever conceived of the idea that a man could be elected U.S. senator and then move out of this state. And now it's back. Let me also point out something I can't resist pointing out about Chris Dodd. He moved out of the state. He ran to Iowa. He spent $20 million there. He had almost 100 people on staff. He had a dozen offices open. And you know how many votes he got? 0.02%. Not 2%, not 0.2%, 0.02%. 2/100ths of 1/100th of the votes. He got 2 votes in 10,000. We got a second opinion on Chris Dodd. Just like you go to a doctor, you go to one doctor and he says you're fine. You go to the second doctor, to get to the hospital. We got a second opinion on Chris Dodd. Here in Connecticut, we've been going along for years. Oh, Chris Dodd, I guess he's okay. You know, he's been here forever. They looked at him in Iowa. He got 2 votes in 10,000. He not only came in dead last, he came in, he's the only candidate who came in behind no preference.
No preference for Senate!
How we are putting up with this guy, but he is going to go. One way or another, he's going to go. And please tell everybody that he moved to Iowa. I want to make sure that every voter in Connecticut knows that Chris Dodd moved out of our state in the middle of this.
Throw the bones out! Throw the bones out!
I'm going to say, yes, I have voted Republican almost all my adult life. Yes, I voted for Jimmy Carter to be reelected. Yes, I voted for Joe Lieberman to be elected to get rid of Lowell Weicker.
That's good.
And I have to say this, the only way I was able to vote Republican the last 12 or 16 years is like this. Because the alternative was truly worse. Now, they are all equally as bad as far as I'm concerned. We have a political party that just wants to take over all we have. They want to tax everything we have. They want to institute socialism. They want to control your medical records. They want to control how much money you can make if you own a company. They want to force you to pay for your employees' health care. And then there's a political party that sits back and says, oh, okay, I just don't want to get in trouble. Okay, I'll let that happen. It's okay with us.